Real quick video, real quick message that I was being supposed to make. I was being supposed to do this video, but it's getting done today. I'm gonna make this as quick as I can. I just want to say before starting this video, my condolences to all the parents whose life was lost due to their children putting them in dangerous situations or their family putting them in dangerous situations. And I just want to say my condolence to this situation, this testimony that I'm about to speak up on. I just want to send my condolences to, people that's lost their lives in these situations. And I also want to say that it's all good. Okay. So, real quick message. Your children could be fraternizing and talking to a dark high priest at this time, trying to get some root work done on you. Your child or children want you to see them again as someone who is innocent, someone who is pure, someone who is trustworthy. They want you to trust them again after betraying you. Now, the message that I have today is that you don't give a fuck no more. You simply just don't give a fuck, and they want you to give a fuck. They want you to re-give a fuck because they like it when you're in that energy of caring and being concerned. They think it's funny. They get a thrill out of it. They get some type of, you know, they get excitement because you care. And now that you don't care, they panic and they want you to care. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down because I don't want this video to be long because it's a lot and it's very in detail of how when you don't give a fuck no more, they want you to re-give a fuck. But when you gave a fuck, it was funny. It was a game. It was a joke. You was the laughing stock. Everybody was making fun of you when you cared, when you was concerned, when you was doing your job as a parent. They all clicked together and came against you. And this is tying into the social media humiliation rituals as well. Okay, so let me get on in here because I was been supposed to, like I said, I was been supposed to make this video, and I will be making a second part going over some DMs that I received because yeah. Okay, so here we go. They're mad. They get mad when you don't give a fuck anymore. And they'll try their best to make you re-give a fuck by using old tactics, rallying up new people, and coming at you with razor blades and lemon juice. I'm going to touch on this subject again because it's so true and it's attached to my message and my testimony because it's what's going on so strongly today with other families. And like I said, my condolences to all the parents whose life was lost and they're not here with us today. Okay? They get mad. Okay, no. What's going on so strongly today? A lot of people lives in a lot of people's lives. They don't want me to get this message out, but it's getting out. I've never met myself personally. I've never met another parent that has gone through these things that I have experienced. And the stories that I did come across, parents that did experience this, they're no longer here with us. Okay, so I'm standing up in the pain for them. They don't give a fuck. They never cared. So when you stop caring, that's when everything goes left. They use these tactics. Um, they use people's well-being. They use people mental health. Um, when you cared about the well-being of these people, when you cared about their mental health, when you cared about them being loved, when you cared about them being respected, when you cared about them being safe, they laughed at you. They made fun of you. They made you a joke. They made you a game. They thought of you as a wimp, someone who was soft. But now that you no longer give zero fucks, that's when they stop celebrating. And now they want to attack your happiness. See, I had this situation, and this is my testimony. Because a lot of parents that go through this, they're gone, that have went through this. They're no longer here with us today. My daughter she willingly ran away to live with a grown woman. I fought day and night and day with the police on speed dial. I was working with different organizations and trying to work with my community to bring my daughter home. But they all had this little lie going and this little story together. So it was three adults, three women that lived in the same apartment complex as me, and they had daughters the same age as me. And they would allow their daughters to have boys in the house. They would allow their daughters to smoke marijuana. They would allow their daughters to sell their bodies. They would allow their daughters to hang out late night and turn tricks for money. So my daughter wanted that life. She wanted to abandon the life with me and give up the life with me to have this life with them. My daughter said, I'm going to give up on my business, my life with my mom and my family, and I'm going to go and be with them. My daughter wanted to be with that family. I don't want to be with my family anymore. I want to go with these people. When I tell you this was the hardest fight of my life, I cried day and night. I got down to 120 pounds. I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to sleep. I wasn't able to eat. I wasn't able to function. Wherever I thought my daughter was, I would call the police and send the police. Sometimes I would be able to get my daughter back home. The police would be able to bring my daughter back home. And as soon as the police would leave out of the complex, my daughter would be out the blinds. She would leave out the front door. And just like the police explained to her, your mama can't make you stay home. Like, the police was like, your mama can't chain you to a bed. Like, you can't make a child stay up underneath your roof, up underneath your household. You just can't, unless you know what I'm saying? Like I said, well, like the police say, your mama can't chain you. She would leave out the front door. And just like that, the police told her, your mama can't make you stay home. I couldn't make her stay home. The police couldn't make her stay home. And these grown women was opening their doors to her and willingly allowing her to come and be at their house. Now, when I would call the police, that the police wouldn't arrest these women because my daughter would be telling the police, oh, my mama kicked me out. And these grown-ass women would be telling the police as well, no, she kicked her daughter out. So the police wouldn't arrest them for being in the wrong for having my daughter, and the police didn't arrest me because the police believed me. Because why would I be calling the police if I kick my daughter out to get my daughter back? It doesn't make any sense. So they all had this same lie going, that I kept kicking my daughter out. I didn't want her there. And, she would go to these grown women and they would all have the same story. My daughter, they would be like, yeah, her mom keeps kicking her out. And even the police officer said, like, we know they lying, but it's two stories. They all got, two stories, and then it's just you. So that's why they kept this story going. And one thing about these lies, they're going to be faithful to their lies. They're going to be loyal to the lies that they tell. They're going to stick beside their lies, even if the lie changes. And you will notice that these people that have been lying on you, their stories change every week, every month, every day, every year. It changes. So, like I said, every time I spotted my daughter, I called the police. I was able to get her to come home just for a minute. You know, she switched up. Um, she would try to throw me off by like running to, like I said, it was like 3 different women who house she could go to in that community, and she would throw me off. Like when she would run, I would beg to my daughter, I would plead with her to come back home. I even started like giving her, even though I was already giving my daughter everything that she wanted, I had just started her a business. She was doing hair, she was editing videos, and she had a bakery company. And like I said, it was going well. She had started making $200 a day. I had just bought her a BMW for her first car just to like drive around, and everything was going good. And she just flipped out one day and was like, I don't want you to be the reason why I'm successful. I want to do it on my own. I want to be the reason why I'm successful. And I don't want to be successful doing the things that you taught me to do. You know, work hard for what I want, or start you a little business, or, use your gifts to make money. She wanted to do things her own way. She wanted to do things how she saw the other girls in the community doing things and making money. So, you know, just like I say, just like out of the blue, everything could be going good, and these people will just try to disrupt that. As soon as you get everything on track, they will try their best to just disrupt that. So just like this, you know, I can prove to you. Yeah, she wanted to prove to me that she could do it herself through, and I just felt like it was witchcraft. So I began to pray for my daughter and just pray for my daughter. Everything escalated to the point where she ended up running away again and just living with this grown lady. It got so bad that I allowed it. I allowed her to live with the lady under the circumstances that she would talk to me, um, and I would be able to like buy her deodorant, pads, and make sure she had food and stuff like that. But that turned into something else. Every time I called the lady, or wanted to speak to my daughter, she made it seem like, oh, she out in the streets, I don't know where she at. And it was one time where I was able to give her like feminine products, hair products, shampoo, deodorant, lotion, girl things, body spray, stuff like that, pads. And then that was it. Like, I couldn't find her no more. And she wanted to live with this lady because this lady allowed her to have boys. This lady allowed her to, intake in sexual activities. And her and the lady was in a relationship with each other as well. And that's why they went so hard. Do understand this. This is something that took place, oh my God, like 5 years ago. Do understand that, okay? So the lady would let her have boys in the house. The lady would allow her to come in the house when she got ready, take drugs, drink, that type of stuff. I wasn't into that. I'm not that type of parent. I'm not that type of mother. I'm not sorry about it. So that's why she wanted to stay with the lady, and not only that, the lady had, would introduce her to tricks. And so she had my daughter out there tricking. And this went on for like 6 months. Me just chasing my daughter, trying to find her, running her down. I had flyers of, missing person, and just running around. I stopped working out. I stopped eating right. I stopped going to work. And it really took a toll on me. It's like a death had happened in my life, but like my daughter was still living. And so God told me to let it go. One night I was sitting there getting ready for bed, and I got a phone call, and it was my daughter. And she was playing on my phone. She was like, "Bitch, I hate you." And she would hang up the phone. Then she would call me back, and she would say, "Bitch, I'm going to get your kids taken from you." And then she would hang up, and she would call back. And the last time she called back, I heard a group of women in the background laughing. And once I heard them laughing and cackling like fucking hyenas, God say, let it go and get up. Let it go and get up. So that's what I did the next day. I got up. I called my job. I told them put me back on the schedule. I started back focusing on my two smaller children, and I started back focusing on work. And as soon as I went back to work, as soon as I started focusing on, getting my health back right, getting my weight back, eating right, going back to the gym, here they funky asses come, calling me while I'm at work, telling me I need to do this. I was even trying to work with my apartment building management as far as, if they could tell me what apartment she went in on the cameras, or, did she leave in a car on the cameras, but they would act like they couldn't tell me nothing. And they was actually working with I'm gonna call them the prostitute moms. They was working with the prostitute moms that was prostituting. I was the only one that was getting up and going to work every day and taking care of my kids. They was working with them, because like I said in the beginning of this video, your child could be discussing with a dark high priest how to put roots on you for you to get to see them again as an innocent child. Because my child began to play in witchcraft and dark magic, and she did do root work on the community and to get them to side with her and things like that. So my building management is calling me while I'm at work. The police officers begin to call me while I'm at work. I go to the gym. I start back working out. I come home. They outside just looking at me, just waiting for me to walk by. And, at first, the lady she ran away with, you know, they just would see me. They would see me and my kids leave, and they would see me and my kids go in my house, and that's it. And they would be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful." So one day, me and my kids had walked by, and she was like, "Oh my God, this lady is so beautiful." And I was like, "Thank you." And my daughter was like, "That's my mama." And the lady was like, the prostitute lady was like, "No, that's not your mama." And she was like, "Yes, it is." And I just kept walking. Okay, so let's fast forward back to, now the police calling me. I go back to the gym. I start working out. They want to be outside, just, trying to see when I come, when I'm back. And I think it was wrong of how these grown ass women, you know, took my daughter and made their lifestyle how they was living okay for my daughter, when my daughter was never around this type of lifestyle, and my daughter never lived this type of lifestyle, and I never had this type of lifestyle around my daughter. But yet it was just something that my daughter just wanted to do. Like, she didn't want to make money the right way. She just wanted to make it her own way. So I'll be seeing my daughter and asking people, for my daughter and stuff like that. And she would say, "Oh, I met one lady in the community, and she stopped me, and she was like, 'Here, take my number. When I see your daughter, I'ma call you.' It's wrong how these grown ass women is pimping your daughter and giving her drugs, and your daughter is okay with it too. They be buying your daughter substances and stuff like that. I'ma call you." So I ended up giving her my number. And y'all, this is my testimony. It just goes with the humiliation ritual that they perform on social media. So I had started back doing everything, going to the gym, taking care of my kids, taking them out to eat, loving on them, back spending time with them, back going to the movies, just back doing, activities with my two smaller daughters, going to the skating ring, stuff like that. And meanwhile, my daughter had done rallied up the whole community of people, and they was doing this, and this is what ended up happening. She ended up getting me put out because they saw on the camera where she was doing sexual activities in exchange for goods. So they told me I couldn't stay there no more. But the prostitute moms got to stay. They got to stay. But it worked out because they thought that they was telling me something that God already told me, that I was going to have to, leave that community. Because, like I say, when you don't give a fuck no more, that's when they give a fuck some more. And they want you to re-give a fuck. And they will go above and beyond. They will crash out. They will die and burn just to get you to give a fuck some more. So I asked God, what he wanted me to do. And he was like, just move. She want to be with them people, leave her with them people. Because God told me it's to the point now where it's either you or her. She gonna take you out. If you let her back in your life, she gonna take you out. So it's up to you. It's either you or her right now. So I chose to listen to my God. I chose to listen to myself. I moved. I packed up my two children and I moved and I left. And God told me to just go ahead and leave, and told me to leave her, where the fuck she was. She wanted to be with them people. She tried to kill me. She put poison in my drink. I feel like she got something from these women out in the community and she put in my drink or whatever. And after that, I was just obedient to God and I just left. She was doing things that was just out of this worldly. Like, that's why I love my daughter though to this day. I love her because I knew my family was doing these things to me all along, but just keeping it a secret. They never did it like up front like this in my face, how my daughter was putting it in my face. She was putting it right in my face. God said, just let her go, because if you don't, she's going to take you out. It's either you or her right now. And you got to live for your kids. So I moved out. I left my daughter alone. She was happy. She was living with the lady they was living it up together. She had got my daughter a fake ID. She was having my daughter in the clubs. They was, prostituting. And they was actually also in a relationship together. They was in a sexual relationship together. They was living it up. And now these aren't my words. I received a phone call from the lady who had my daughter, from her family member. So, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what began to happen was, every time her and the lady would get into a fight or an argument, she would call my phone and call me all kind of bitches and this and that. I would just hang up the phone. I wouldn't argue with my daughter. I was still praying for my daughter. But it began to keep happening. Every time her and the lady would get into it, she would call me and say, bitch, fuck you, I hate you, da da da. So I changed my phone number as much as I didn't want to. I said, if anything, she could reach me through, a social media account. So I'll begin to do everything, still work out, work, and focus on me and my kids. But I didn't go back to social media right away. But when I did, I went back to social media. I posted a picture of me on my Instagram. And when I tell you, body was tea from working out, eating good, thinking positive, living positive, I just let that situation go. And so many doors started opening up for me, so many opportunities, so many blessings. I posted a picture on Instagram of me and my children on vacation, and it started doing numbers. And the prostitute lady that stole my daughter got up underneath my post and was like, you need. See, this is how you can tell stalkers. Because they'll tell you, they'll be in the most fucked up situation due to their karma. And they'll be telling you what you need to do. Or they'll be done put you in a fucked up situation and still have the nerve to tell you what you need to do. She got up underneath my picture and was like, you need to call me right now? How can you leave your daughter? How can you abandon your daughter and just leave? Because how can you do that? Because now they seeing I don't give a fuck no more. I don't give a fuck no more. Y'all got what y'all wanted. Y'all running the business that y'all want to run. Y'all living the life that y'all want to live. But now that you look up, mind you, this woman, why am I calling her woman? This prostitute was not my friend on any of my social media accounts. But 20 minutes after me posting a picture, she's up underneath my comment talking about I need to call her. So I'm like, damn, they done got another storyline going. Now I done left and abandoned my daughter and all of this. So what I did was I just deleted the post. Um, they get mad. They get angry when they see that, okay, I'm going to just move on with my life. Like, I'm not finna keep sitting here fighting the same battle and going in circles because that's what they want you to do. So I deleted the message and I got in her DMs. I say, look, listen, I don't know what kind of sick game you trying to play. My daughter went with you willingly. You won't give me my daughter back. I've tried to get my daughter back from you over a span of, I tried to get my daughter back from you over 1,000 times. And you insisted on opening your doors to my daughter, for my daughter, every time she ran away. Leave me alone. Y'all got what y'all wanted. It's done. She texted me back talking about, I'm the one that takes care of your daughter. I do all that I can. And at this point, I've been reaching out to your family members to see what I can do to get help with assistance. Because that's what they do. When pussy ain't selling, they try to extort me. And when pussy not selling, they try to contact my family and extort my family. Like, my family not finna give you no money. Not at all. And so, you know, or they get into an argument with each other, or like I say, pussy ain't selling, they want to come after me. And then they want to come after me again when they see that I no longer care. Like, I don't care. I'm going to move on with my life. So like I told her again, I say, I'm going to let y'all go ahead. Whatever y'all got going on, figure, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to figure it out. I say she is still on the runaway list because I don't have no idea where y'all hoes is at. So, you know, it was just her and my daughter trying to like see if they can like ruin my fucking life basically. Okay, but I wanted to see my daughter, and I wanted to talk to my daughter to make sure that she had the things that she needed, like, you know, deodorant, facial stuff, hair products and stuff like that. But like I said, even that went left. Even me trying to give in to the situation just to still have a relationship with my daughter, it went left. And it went left because they was trying to frame me the whole time and get me put in jail and unalive me and all kind of shit. So, you know, I wanted to stay, she wanted to stay with this lady or whatever. So fast forward back to, I blocked the lady. I went on about my life. Again, I posted a picture on social media. Up underneath my post, she got another damn account and posted up underneath my picture, this somebody who abandoned their daughter and da 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 da. I did the same thing. Block, delete, moved on with my life. I never responded on social media. I never took this situation to social media. Went on about my life. Never responded. Not even through a message anymore. Because see, the first time I just deleted it and I talked to her through messages like a normal person needs to do. So I just kept moving on with my life. Come to find out, the lady ended up stabbing somebody to death one night in front of my daughter. And then she took my daughter and abandoned her, dropped her off at a family member's house, this family member that reached out to me and told me all this good tea. And so this family member was like, told me what was up, and I told her what was up. My daughter, everything I just told y'all, she rallied up the whole community. She poisoned me, tried to kill me, tried to do this, tried to do that, tried to get me put in jail, and I don't trust her. If she can show me that she can get a job and do right and get back in school, I'll send for her. The lady said no problem. She was the manager at Sonics. She just told me, send her birth certificate, her social security card. I said no problem. I sent the lady the information. I called the runaway line and was like, hey, you can take this person's name off the runaway line. I found her, we back talking, and, it ain't the best, but I found her. Okay. So, I did all of that. And so it didn't take long. It didn't take long for her to fuck up that situation. And like 2 weeks later, she ended up stealing from the lady. The lady ended up putting her out. She got mad. She called me, cussed me out like a fucking dog. Insisted on me giving her my address and telling me she was finna come where I'm at and she not finna put up with my shit. And I just hung the phone up on her. I said when she calmed down, she'll call me back. I blocked the number. I went on with my life. I took my kids on vacation. I posted on social media again. And this time, my ops, my frenemies from 8 damn years ago, who I ain't seen and heard from 8 damn years ago, God told me to cut these people off because they evil and they nasty and they'll sit back and try to destroy you. I posted a picture and she got in my comment section and was like, this is somebody who abandons their daughter and da da da. I was like, block, delete. Went back living my best life with me and my children. We on vacation. We living good, eating good, sleeping good at night. So about a month later, I decided to post another picture on social media. And again, she got, this time, a man had posted up underneath my picture. He was like, you're so beautiful or something like that. This time, she didn't reply to me. She replied to one of my supporters and was like, oh, don't support this person. They left their child. They abandoned their child. When she did that, my ancestors said, that's enough. That's enough. You finna say something today. Yeah. I'm like, say what? What is I'm finna say? They started bringing back memories of what this clown did to me, how she left her bloody pad in my children's room, how she would just do nasty, evil, malicious things to me, try to steal my ideas. They say, yeah, that's what you finna roll on out and say. Since they want to keep bringing this to social media, okay. It's just sometimes you have to stand up for yourself at some point if they not gonna stop, because I let them do it for a long time. I let them skate. And it's not I let them do it. I don't give a fuck. But my ancestor said, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. You finna say something. You finna say something today. So I got on Facebook and I went to my ancestors gave me the magic fingers. I was like, what else they did? Cause see, I'm not the bag lady. I don't carry around everything somebody did to me. It's in the sea of forgetful. I don't remember that shit. So they telling me all this shit. I was like, yeah, that was fucked up. And they like, yeah, that's why. And God like, that's why I told you to leave her alone and watch she portray you. I say, but how she gonna portray me if I done moved 7 states over? This woman came back through my daughter. My daughter say, okay, well your ancestors done took them down. I'll just go rally up some more. I'll just go find some more dummies. I'll just go find some more crash dummies to use. My daughter is a very powerful dark witch. Okay. So yeah, my ancestors was like, nah. You gonna say something? You gonna say something today? They just like, okay, tell your testimony, cause listen, you finna tell the people how you walked on these snakes. You finna tell them how you got down walked on these snakes' heads. Now, old girl already done got, you know, her ration, her portion for taking my daughter and brainwashing her. She really didn't brainwash my daughter. Let me not put it all on this lady. This is something my daughter wanted to do. Because my daughter thought, hey, if I'm out here being a prostitute and living this life, it's going to make the mom look bad. It's going to make the parent look bad. It's not going to make me look bad. I'm going to look like an innocent princess that I got this lie. I got this story. You kicked me out, and that's what I'm going to tell everybody. So I have to be out here in the streets living like this. I got to get it out the mud. I got to so hood. Da, 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 da. Okay. So like I said, I posted what my ancestors told me to post on my social media. And that's what I posted. I said, girl, you left your bloody pad at my house doing witchcraft. You a dark witch. Why you keep following me? Lifetime after lifetime. You on my bloodline. You finna get the fuck up off my bloodline. Trying to make me live generational curses. They used to call CPS on my mama because she wasn't a good mama. And now they want me to fit that storyline. Now that storyline don't fit me. I can't fit that shoe. It's way too big. I got a small foot. That shoe way too big. I'm not even trying to fit that shoe. You know, this funky little ass bitch had my daughter then reach out to me through Messenger. No, she wait till I post a picture and she up underneath the talking to my supporters. God said, oh, no. Even God said no. Hell no. You finna roll these little funky ass little, okay? I had to roll them out, y'all. But if, like I said, my ancestors wouldn't have told me, no, you finna say something today. Nah, you finna say something today. I wouldn't have never said, I would have just kept blocking, deleting, living. I wouldn't have said nothing. Because I never went to social media about the last problem. But you see, soon as she took it to social media, not even a week later, she ended up stabbing somebody to death. Now she in jail for the rest of her life because they thought that they was finna do that to me. And just like God told me, when you get out your car, get your kids, go in your apartment. Don't even look at them. Don't even make eye contact with them because they trying to stab you. They trying to provoke you so that she can stab you. And then when she stab you, your daughter gonna be right there talking about, yeah, my mama fought her. My mama came after her. My mama attacked her. So since they rallied up that type of motherfucking energy and time for me,